What is up, everybody? It is Thursday, October 10th. I took one trade today. As you can see, here is my entry. Here is my exit of that trade. Very interesting day. Everybody was short biased because of that drop. They were saying how we swept these highs here, dropped on down. But I'm going to show you guys why I was not bearish. I was actually bullish. And if you look on my Twitter account, I posted in the morning in the pre-market. I was like, are you going to be buying every single dip? Because I just had a very good feeling that we were going to move on higher. So the reason why, if you were watching my video yesterday, you would have seen that I marked this as a market maker sell model, getting a smart money reversal here, and then turning into a buy model. Now the terminus is this level here, this 537.75 level. And that's what I've been targeting for the last 2 days. And today we unfortunately did not get that. So it's probably saving it for tomorrow. I have a very strong feeling that overnight for Asia session, we might get a move on up into it. So the one thing that we noticed here on the 4-hour time frame, that this fair value gap right here was being held. The market dropped down into it because of news that we had in pre-market. And so overall, you know, every single bullish fair value gap that I kept noticing was being held. So moving on to the 1-hour time frame, there was this 1-hour fair value gap right here that was very important to me. I wanted to see that this one was going to be held. So with the news dropping down into it, I wanted to make sure that we were not going to get a 1-hour close below that, because if we did get a 1-hour close below that, I was going to target this low right here as my draw on liquidity for the morning. It probably would have wanted a deeper retracement before moving higher. But as you can see, price stayed in that fair value gap, and then, you know, we reacted out of it. So overall, a good reaction. Now, on the 1 minute time frame, we see that we had that manipulation move down from the data drop in the pre-market. Now, one thing I noticed was that we did have accumulation here in Q1. We had a manipulation move here where we took out that low of the accumulation of Q1 and started to move on higher. Now, I was expecting price to then continue moving higher here, but at the open, we at 9:45, we started to drop very aggressively, taking out the data low. And now here we have this 1 minute fair value gap right there. Now, I could have had my entry after this candle here at 9:51. Now, I didn't take that because if you notice, there are 3 1 minute fair value gaps. I wanted to make sure that the one that was a little bit higher up was going to get invalidated first, just to be a little more secure with my entry. Because I didn't want to risk taking the entry here. Yes, higher risk and higher reward, but I wanted to just make sure I'm up on the week. I didn't want to risk too much. And so I wanted to get the higher probable setup that if this 1 minute fair value gap gets invalidated, I was going to enter in. So as you can see, price moves on up. I enter in on the next candle, or pretty much the close of this candle. And then I accidentally bought 2 more and I had to sell that right away. I was trying to do a copy trade and I messed up the order. So I ended up buying 2 more instead of putting a sell limit up here. I bought in some more. So as you can see, we got that invalidation, put my stop below this low right here. And the risk to reward wasn't amazing. It was a 1 to 1.45, but it was still a trade nonetheless. I'm sure there was another entry here and we're going to get into that. And then as you can see, price just chops around all morning, moving up and down, taking out lows, coming out, taking out highs. So in this moment here, I know a lot of traders were just getting screwed over with their mind and just seeing their P&L going up and down, up and down. But you know what you got to do in those instances? Stay on the 5 minute time frame. Go up one time frame. What do you see? We have accumulation, manipulation down below that low. So we should expect distribution. And what do I see? Price coming down into equilibrium and just being held up. It's just accumulation here. There's no reason why this is moving down. We have a 5 minute fair value gap right here that could potentially hold price. It could come back, rebalance that. That's totally fine by me. So staying on a higher time frame, that should give you a little more peace of mind. Yes, it was annoying to see that chop, but you have to stick with that higher time frame bias. The 1 hour was bullish, the 4 hour was bullish. We retraced into an area of interest, and we had a market structure shift. You had no reason to be scared, okay? And no reason to really be looking for shorts. Now, we note this 5 minute fair value gap right there. All right. I wanted to see a 5 minute close above that to then target the data highs. Okay, if we ended up getting that, then we were going to definitely move on up because there was nothing really in the way from this point to that point. And if you notice, you get that 5-minute candle close above, and then we just run right up into that data high very easily. So overall, that worked out. I actually closed my position up early because I was very busy in this morning as well. I do still work my 9 to 5, so I didn't have time to keep looking at the chart, and I just wanted to secure the gain for the day, so I just took it there. Overall, it was a very nice gain. It was enough. It was my daily target that I usually target as well. And so, yeah, I mean, it hit the data high. It was perfect, and as price continued to move on higher, I was moving my stop loss along the way. And right, so after having that 5-minute close above, let's say you were late to the market this morning and you saw this 5-minute close above at 11:15, okay? 11:15 was when that was created, right? Let's drop on down into the 1-minute time frame once again. Keep moving that right there. So 11:15 I said, right? That's right here. In this moment here, based upon the model that I trade, which is if I am bullish and I have a higher draw on liquidity, what I want to see is a bearish fair value gap get created and then disrespected, right? So that is, let me put back my toolbar here. After 11:15, we have more than enough reason to believe that we're going to move on higher. We got that 5-minute close above that fair value gap. So let's look for a bearish fair value gap. Where do we have that? Right here. Okay. We have a 1-minute bearish fair value gap get created right there. Where does it get invalidated? At the close of this candle right there. Move the stop to the low there, and then target that higher time frame draw on liquidity, which is right there. That's a nice 1 to 2. That is a nice 1 to 2 risk to reward. So you can always end up finding another entry. And honestly, this entry was better than the other one. So if you're late to the market, you don't have to worry about not getting a good entry because you can still find a good entry within just these little internal moves, right? Here, market ordered in, like I said, stop below that low, target that draw on liquidity. You could have even targeted a previous high. You could have targeted that previous high right there, which would have obviously given you a higher risk to reward. Would have been a 1 to 2.58. Now, like I said, at this point, I was not looking to enter in anymore because I was done for the day. I didn't have any more time to look at the charts, and quite honestly, I was already up really well. So the first trade was a 1 to 1.45. If that's not good enough for you, you can wait for further validation for longs. Like I said, right there, take a bearish fair value gap, which you know should be disrespected because we know what the draw on liquidity is, right? So it's right there. Very simple. It doesn't have to be complicated. You don't have to worry too much about so many things, guys. It's literally that easy. Once you know the draw on liquidity, it should be able to help you with the lower time frames. If the higher time frames look bullish and we're creating a bearish fair value gap, you should expect that to get invalidated. There's no reason why it should sustain. So hopefully you guys ended up green today. You didn't take any red trades, or that you didn't get chopped up here in this mess. It was very taxing on the mental. You could have walked away, came back, seen what was happening, you know, all of that. And yeah, like I said, this is still my target for the week. I think we are going to hit that tomorrow, if not overnight. So we'll see what happens there. But until then, God bless everybody, and we will see you all tomorrow. Peace.